Blue Cow, don't count this offense out. Cubs win the series against the Cincinnati Reds at the Great American Ballpark in front of a lot of fans who was there to see the Cubs do something good. Each game, the attendance was over 30,000, and I would say more than half were Cubs fans. That's what we like to see. Every building we go in, we take over. Come in your trap, take over your trap. But let's kick things off with Friday night's game. Cubs offense absolutely exploded in a thrilling come from behind 13-6 victory. After being down early, including a 6-2 deficit entering the seventh inning, the bats came alive for the de facto home team, scoring 6 runs. Pete Crow Armstrong, that man again, was the undisputed star of the show. He had a monster night. He went 3 for 5 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. This included his first career grand slam. Blasted it right off the right field foul pole and gave the Cubs the lead for good in the 7th inning. He also hit a 2-run home run earlier in that game. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, say it with me. MVPCA. Seiya Suzuki also contributed a 3-run bomb in the 8th inning, and Dansby Swanson added his 11th home run of the season in the 9th inning. Cubs now have 4 guys with 11 or more home runs, more than anybody else in the major leagues. Matthew Boyd had a rough outing, though. I said a few episodes ago he was the Cubs' best starting pitcher right now that Imanaga's on the IL, but he gave up 6 earned runs in 5 innings this game. But the bullpen, particularly Pomeranz and Presley, they held it down for him. They were good down the stretch to preserve that win for Boyd. Boyd wasn't alone this weekend with bad pitching outings because the entire staff was complete ass. But the defense wasn't all that great either, but we'll talk about that later. Saturday, it was a different result. The Cubs lost 6-4 to those Reds. The Cubs could not complete the comeback this time around. They did bring the tying run to the plate late in the game, but they weren't able to get it done. Colin Ray was on the mound, and like Boyd the night before, didn't have his best stuff. Again, starting pitchers this series was ass. He allowed 6 earned runs in 5 innings as well. However, we did see some positives despite the loss. Justin Turner starting to heat up. He hit his first home run of the season, a 400-foot shot. He's been hitting the ball well over his last 6 games, including that walk-off on May 13th, everyone remembers. Matt Shaw also continued his impressive play since being recalled from AAA Iowa. He had a 3-hit game on Saturday and made some excellent defensive plays down at third base. Listen, if he can be steady at third, at the plate and in the field, I'm not even asking him to be a rock star, just steady. Then the Cubs have no holes in their lineup, defensively or offensively, and will legit be the favorite to win the pennant. On the pitching side Saturday, the Cubs made a move, DFAing Julian Mayweather. That's designated for assignment, for those that don't know. He has been struggling this season. His velocity's been down. He has a 5.79 ERA after Friday's game. And enough was enough, right? The Cubs had selected Brooks Kriske from AAA Iowa to take his spot on the active roster. Good luck to Julian Mayweather moving forward, but the Cubs got to move in another direction. Also from Saturday's game, Miguel Amaya. He left the game in the 5th inning with a left oblique strain. Again, another oblique strain. This happened while he was trying to throw out Elly De La Cruz at second base. After the game, Craig Counsell said he is being placed on the 10-day injured list starting Sunday. De La Cruz did more than just get Miguel injured on Saturday. He was 2 for 3 with a home run, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base. 5 for 9 on the series with 5 runs scored. The dude is a beast. But you're not going to hear much talk about him because he plays for those Cincinnati Shots. If you know, you know. To address the need for another catcher, the Cubs brought up Reese McGuire from AAA Iowa to the 40-man active roster. Craig Counsell explained that they chose McGuire over top prospect Moises because they wanted Moises to continue getting consistent playing time down there at Iowa, which he wouldn't be getting up there in Chicago. McGuire, for those that don't know, he's a 7-year vet who signed a minor league contract with the Cubs before the season started, and he's been playing well down there in Iowa. So let's see what's shaking with him in Chicago, and talk about making an immediate impact. Sunday, Reese McGuire was subtly thrust into the starting lineup because Carson Kelly, he got scratched like an hour and a half before game time because he got sick. And with his very first at bat as a Cub, McGuire homered off the Red starter Nick Lodolo. But the heroics did not stop there. In a wild game, the Cubs did it again. They came back, rallied from a 5-run deficit, and Reese Big Mac McGuire hit his second home run of the game in the 8th inning to tie it all up. After that, Ian Happ walked. Kyle Tucker got a single before Seiya Suzuki hit the game-winning 3-run home run to put the Cubs ahead for good. Clutch. Ice in this team's veins. McGuire got emotional after the game, talking about his journey and the hard work he put in to get back to the big leagues. You love to see this. You love to see this type of stuff. You love that form. You love to see this type of stuff. Craig Counsell was thrilled for him. He called it the game of his life. That 3-run home run from Suzuki gave him 3 more RBIs, which pushed him ahead of Boston's Rafael Devers for the major league lead in RBIs. The 2 RBIs today from PCA put him into a tie with Mr. Devers. So the Cubs have the number 1 and number 2 leaders, have the number 1 and 2 guys in that category for runs batted in the major leagues. And they also have more 10 or more home runs than anybody else in the majors. This offense is nuts. So, in summary, the Cubs took 2 out of 3 from the Reds in this series. They showed their offensive power and their ability to make comebacks no matter how big the deficit is, particularly in the victories Friday and Sunday. While the pitching had its challenges, especially the starters, they got some key performances from the bullpen and saw some individual players step up, including the surprising heroics from Reese Big Mac McGuire. The Cubs go back home with a 2-game lead in the division to play the abysmal Colorado Rockies for 3 games. St. Louis Cardinals are right there, number 2. They are suddenly unbeatable. They're 16-5 this month. The Cubs are 14-8, but most importantly, they have not lost a series since that 3-game set against the Mets at Citi Field, which means the Cubs are beating the teams you expect them to beat. Marlins twice, White Sox, and the Reds. 9-3 record through those 4 series. And like I said before, the Rockies are up next, which should present an opportunity for the Cubs to bring out the brooms once again for a historically bad team. I will be back to discuss that series when it ends. Go Cubs, go. Thanks for listening to this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And all my homies from Chicago, we say 3 things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.